Ladies and centers, welcome to another Tuesday evening edition of the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Cale Henderson. We're back at it again, folks, every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I know what you're thinking. Today was 7:30. You're correct. If you guys remember, I did say 2 straight weeks I will be at practice until about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night Central Standard Time, so I was kind of running up against it. I knew I had to start about a half hour late. I appreciate your patience, and I'm very thankful for the folks listening in. Again, this is the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Get at us on our Twitter forums, at SinCity_IESR. Get at me on my Twitter forum, at Cale_Henderson. As the host of the show, I always talk about anything Las Vegas, because this is IE Vegas, and this is where it's at. It's almost, you might as well just call it the title town, right? 3 titles in 1 year in Vegas. The Ramblers, the Lady Aces, the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Why not? Why not? But you know what? It's all about having fun. And what can you do? What can you do? It's all about having fun in Vegas. You roll the dice. You make some bets. You're either really down or you had a good time. It's just, that's how Vegas works. And that's how sports work in Vegas as well, especially when we're talking about the Raiders and how bad they are. What's up, Taryn? Taryn's in the chat room. Good evening, Cale. Have an awesome show. As always, Taryn being a great teammate. I got a plug for the Ramblers here as we go into the show. When we get back, we're going to go straight into the Las Vegas Lady Aces, who are dominating the WNBA. We will then go what's up in Vegas, and then finish with the Raiders in our short show here on the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And welcome back, ladies and sinners, to the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Cale Henderson, and we got a sponsorship read for our flagship station, for our platform. For 9 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the world. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And you guys can catch any one of our shows, by the way, add on to this. Any one of our shows, by the way, on Spreaker Podcast Player, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Good Pods, CastBox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser. The man, the myth himself, Larry B., who just tuned in, has found a way to put us on so many platforms. You almost have no excuse. Just go there, like, follow, turn on the notifications, listen to every one of our shows, because we have great content here at IE Sports Radio. And thank you, as always, because this is a station made by the fans for the fans, right? That's what we do. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. Kind of an improv plug there, but I want to make sure you guys know we have so many platforms. We have so many apps that you can listen to every single show on. We're all over the place. Any day that ends with Y, we have a show for you. That's how we roll here at IE Sports Radio. And you guys already know we are ready here on IE Vegas. Las Vegas Lady Aces are absolutely kicking the Chicago Sky's ass. 107-95 W. Final. Love it. First in the WNBA, and it's not even close. The Lady Aces are so hot right now. There's just almost no measure to it. I've never seen such a dominant season so far. Like 22-2? Are you kidding me? Plume, Wilson, and Gray Everybody scored 20 points tonight. Yeah, you guys heard it here first. The top 3 people, top 3 scorers, everybody scored 20 points. And boy, man, that black, gold, and red looks really nice on them jerseys, even if it is in Chicago. Man, Chicago's hot garbage. I hope Adam's doing okay. His teams in Chicago are struggling right now. I don't think there's a good team in Chicago right now. No BS. Blackhawks are horrible. Bulls are decent, but they're not great. Sky, horrible. I mean, dude, the Bears, they had the number 1 overall pick, and they traded it. There's no excuse. I don't care if they traded it to the Panthers. They still had the number 1 overall pick, and they traded back. I don't think there's a good team in Chicago right now, man. The White Sox, the Cubs, I think they're struggling too. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Adam's got to be down bad. Larry said, at least they have good pizza. That ain't pizza, dog. That's like lasagna. All right? Let's be honest. That's a casserole. Deep dish is not pizza. It's a damn casserole. You cannot convince me otherwise. It's like, I almost say, I get why people say hot dogs are a sandwich. You put a hot dog in a bun. Or a loaf of bread, essentially. A small loaf of bread. Does it now become a sandwich? I don't know, man. It is delicious, Larry. It is kind of interesting the way they do that, too. Food rant, because we're foodies here at IE Sports Radio. Because if you love sports, you love food. If you love sports, you binge on food. And some of you on beer, but, I digress. You love food. I can't believe they put the cheese on the bottom. The sauce is on the top. It's so weird. It's so weird. What's your favorite, Larry? Would you say Chicago style or New York style? What do you think is better? I don't know. Taryn chimes in. This week in the Las Vegas Ramblers begin their title defense of the NBA playoffs at Long Beach City College. They play the Inland Empire Matadors at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Friday in the quarterfinals. Absolutely, and that is perfect because that is what's happening in Vegas. On Friday, you guys can catch the Las Vegas Ramblers defending their title in playoff form, the number 1 seed in the American Conference. You heard it here first. Stop it, Larry. Knock it off. You heard it here first. Las Vegas Ramblers are defending their title against the Matadors. And go Ramblers, baby. Let's get 2. Let's keep Titletown rolling. Thank you, Taryn Rodriguez, as always. Thank you. As always, for being the man, the myth, the legend, in bringing me some news bits. I actually did have it up. You'd be proud of me. I had I think it's flashscore.com. Not that I want to give them a huge shout out. They're not a sponsor or anything. But I was looking at it. I saw that they play on 7/28. Las Vegas Ramblers, the number 1 seed. Back to the Lady Aces. Aja Wilson is averaging 20.5 points a game right now. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plume, both over 19 points a game. I can't tell you guys the sheer dominance that we're witnessing here. Rebounds, Aja's basically dominating that, but the veteran, the wily vet, Candace Parker is still averaging 23 minutes a game. She's averaging 9 points a game, but again, she's just over 9 rebounds a game. That's 9 extra possessions. The Aces you're right, Larry. The Aces are absolutely unreal right now. They're untouchable. Screw the Chicago untouchables. Who are they? We got the Las Vegas Lady Aces untouchables. Also, great plug for a good movie. The Untouchables is an excellent movie with Sean Connery and Kevin Costner. You guys get a chance. You guys want a little bit of an old school detective, almost like a Wild West mafioso type feel. Make sure you guys watch that movie. Aces, Golden Knights, Ramblers, Raiders. What's wrong with this picture? The Raiders. Yeah, it's so weird you bring that up, Larry, in your 8 divisions in 8 days there. I'm 3 and out. What's wrong with this picture? The Raiders. That's what's wrong with the picture. And maybe that's what you were getting at. I thought maybe you were just like kind of bragging about Vegas sports because, Vegas sports is on it right now. No, to the Raiders' credit, they're making a ton of money. I mean, they went from being a team that was worth $970 million to $6.5 billion in 4 years. So I mean, they're rolling. Just not in the right way on the scoreboard. That's for sure. Raiders suck. Like, that's just being nice. They're a good. The sad part is we talked about it on your 8 days AFC West edition when we were talking about the Raiders. This is actually a really good roster, with the exception of the defense. The defense still needs improvement. I think it will be better than last year, because usually you see your biggest improvement in year 2 on probably both sides of the ball. What I don't like is, one, Josh Jacobs is probably not coming back before the season, and 2, I can't trust Jimmy Garoppolo. The guy hasn't been healthy in so many seasons. Like, it is what it is. You can't tell me that this offensive line that we have is better than the Niners, and Jimmy G got hurt last year. I don't think the man has any time to throw. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I just don't think he'll have a chance, man, especially if Jacobs isn't back. Zamir White's going to have to pull one out. But the reality of the situation is, I don't know, man. If this team was in the AFC South or the NFC South, I think they win. They probably win those divisions. Maybe. The Saints are probably a better overall team than the Raiders right now because of the defense. But the reality is, I just don't see the Raiders winning this. I think they're playing for third. We talked about it. You guys get a chance. This is a nice plug for Larry B himself. Go to 3 and Out. 8 divisions, 8 days. Review the AFC West. You guys won't be sorry. I think we had some great. I think honestly, so far it's been the best division. I'm not biased or anything. You know what I mean? Terrence killed it. I think our AFC West show hosts absolutely killed it. They brought content. They sounded intelligent. They knew what they were talking about. It was great. I know, Larry. I appreciate it, man. You're so nice. Oh, wait, maybe you're not talking about my interview. Just kidding. I thought we had a great interview. I thought we had a good show. And, the nice thing is we're realistic about everything. We want to be fans first, but sometimes that has to take a back seat. Some harsh words were said. But, yeah, Aaron, Taryn, and Bishop did an excellent job with their teams as well. Terrence, for you guys that don't know, SoCal Sports, he's over there talking about the Chargers, Bishop, the Kansas City Chiefs, and their arrogant fan base and their Alabama ways, if you guys know what I mean. Aaron talked about the Denver Broncos, who haven't been relevant since Peyton Manning. They'll probably be relevant this year, but it is what it is. Realism is key. I like it. You're right, Larry. It's 100% true. 100% true, unfortunately. We're going to go to break, guys. We're going to play some drops from some of our listeners or some of the guys in the chat here because they deserve it. They're great teammates. When we get back, we're going to dive right into the Raiders training camp. Rumors. Is Josh Jacobs coming back? I don't know, man. I don't know. We get back here on the Sin City Sports Show presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's going on, football fans? This is Muir Larry inviting you to join myself, Colin Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head primetime face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
Everybody, this is Darren Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunderous Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the '08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies.
And your one-timers.
You wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
College football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I A in the FBS? Well then, look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, ladies and sinners, to the last segment, short segment here on a short show here on IE Sports Radio, the Sin City Sports Show presented by IE Sports Radio. I'm your host, Cale Henderson. We're going to dive right into the Raiders because training camp is underway. If you guys didn't have a chance to listen to the Josh McDaniels presser, you'll get some nuggets, man. I mean, he's there saying he respects what Josh Jacobs is doing, going through, understands the man deserves his money. He put in a lot of work. It kind of sounds like, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. It kind of sounds like my opinion. Maybe he has some respect for Josh Jacobs now that he didn't have a year ago when they decided not to give him his fifth-year option, which would have completely prevented relying on the franchise tag. Because as of right now, if nothing is agreed upon at all, like the Raiders have to cut Josh Jacobs. It's that simple. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option. Pretty soon he could very well be a free agent if they don't come up with an agreement. And I don't know if they'll ever come up with something close enough. I will say the one thing that works in the Raiders' favor right now, Raiders fans, I should say, is Saquon Barkley accepting that $11 million deal. I think that helped a ton. But the problem is what Saquon did was if he gets hurt, man, he might have some trouble getting another contract. And I know that Josh Jacobs is talking about that because running backs are limited. They really are. Granted, Josh Jacobs, what people don't talk about enough, Josh Jacobs split carries in the backfield at Alabama. He does not have the same kind of wear and tear that other backs have coming out of college. He didn't have to tote the rock on a consistent basis like a lot of others did. If I remember correctly, he was on the same team with Harrison, who plays for the Patriots right now. Harris. Sorry, I think it's Harris. Regardless, I just don't think people are being realistic about the situation of Josh Jacobs. There's a possibility he's not on the team. We should start preparing for that. But that's kind of today's game. It's the business. Is it wrong? Probably. But from the business side of things, I understand. Why would teams allocate that money, that $11 to $12 million a year to Josh Jacobs when they could split that up three ways and bring on three productive backs? Would it be the same production by one person? No. Could it be the same production by three? Yes. It's almost it's like the one position where football is going Moneyball. Like straight up. They're not looking for guys that hit home runs. They're looking for guys who get on base, right? The NFL teams aren't looking for guys who get 1,000 yards. They're looking for guys who get 4 yards a carry and get 800 yards apiece. Three of them, you're in good shape, man. Three running backs going for over 800 yards total is 60. Dude, seriously. Three running backs going for more than 800 yards total, whether that's rushing or passing, is 2,400 yards in production on an offense. And I promise you any team in the NFL would take that in a heartbeat. Because that type of production is going to do nothing but open up the vertical passing game for offenses in the NFL. We all know that the NFL is built to throw the ball. So I'm hoping Josh Jacobs gets something done. I'm not optimistic. Because if I'm Josh Jacobs, I hold out. And then just to stick it to the Raiders, because I don't think he really likes this regime very much, just to stick it to the Raiders, I'd take a lower contract than what the Raiders offered with like the Baltimore Ravens, where you know that man's going to get his work running for Lamar Jackson. The Houston Texans will be an up-and-coming team. They have so many draft picks. They have plenty of draft capital, plenty of cap space. The Bears could be an option, but I don't know if you want to go to that dumpster fire. The Niners. The Niners wouldn't surprise me if they go for him. They never spend money on a running back. Why not? You didn't bring back Jimmy G. You should have some cap space available. Pay Josh Jacobs. Imagine Josh Jacobs in that Niners uniform. That zone stretch scheme. Jacobs is a very patient runner, man. That'd be some scary stuff. I'm just saying, Josh Jacobs was probably the most valuable player on our team last year. Period. And he's just not getting his respect. But by the same token, I see the flip side. The business side says, let's get three running backs for the same value, around 700-800 yards apiece total, and you have great production on your offense. Because it's a quarterback and pass game heavy league. Period. Training camp is underway. We're getting great reviews from Josh McDaniels. I feel like he's actually talking a bit more than what he did years past, but my stance is the same, guys. If you guys read my Twitter today, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The reality of the situation is this. I think Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler sound like a bunch of politicians. They are saying what people want to hear. They are saying that things are in the right direction. And you know what? In reality, this team is better. Is it better at the quarterback position? I don't think so, no. This team can compete, but not with our division. That's the problem. It didn't really get better in our division. It got worse. I don't know if I can't definitively tell you that the Raiders are better than the Broncos. Period. I don't know. I can't tell you with certainty that the Raiders are better than the Broncos. And I know they're not better than the Chargers. I know they're not better than the Chiefs. So to me, That just straight up tells me that we're playing for third place, and that's not a good situation to be in. But Mark Davis is Mark Davis. He probably won't let Josh McDaniels go if he has to. He's made it sound like he's going to be extremely patient with Josh McDaniels. And I can't tell you why. At the least bit. Taryn chimes in, I said it on 8 Divisions in 8 Days. Texans will not be bad as they were the last 2 seasons. They've got upside. Yes. Yes. And I feel bad because there's also another African-American coach that will probably only get 1 year because that seems to be the trend there, which is pretty sad. It's disgusting. I shouldn't say that. I think D'Amico Ryans will get a while because he's a former Texan. I think the ownership loves him. But I think they did. I just have a bad taste in my mouth with the way they treated Lovey, and I can't remember the other dude who is a well-renowned NFL receivers coach. David McCulley, I think his name was. I just don't think they did those guys. I mean, those rosters were so bad. Nobody was playing well. You guys know what it is, man. You know what it is. Short show. We had to come with the fire. Josh McDaniels stinks. I would wish bad things on him, but that's not my character. You guys know how it is. Hoping for a great season. Expecting the truth. That's just kind of where we're at. If you guys want my take, listen to 8 Divisions in 8 Days. 8 Divisions in 8 Days and 3 and Out. I had a nice interview with Larry B. It was a great interview. I had a good time. Shoot, the whole AFC West cast did a great job. Aaron, Taryn, Bishop, everybody did a great job for their respective teams. It's going to be a competitive division, but I still think it comes down to the Chargers-Chiefs. This could be the year the Chargers finally make that leap. We'll see. I do like the Kellen Moore pickup. Brandon Staley staying there is kind of a hiccup for me, or not very positive, but it is what it is. I mean, the Chargers will do what they have to do. This is the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be getting back to our regular time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time moving forward, and until further notice, of course, with the football season underway. I'm your host, Cale Henderson. Get at us on our Twitter forums, at SinCity_IESR, at Cale_Henderson, where we speak all things Vegas sports, all things sports in general. And as always, folks, see you next week. Love, peace, and hair grease.